Hello and welcome to the final demo of this version of temporary excavation mining post. We collected all the feedback from Spectrum, from Reddit, from comments in the YouTube videos. Thank you very much for those. And we try to put all of this together. And also, quick answer, yes, this is a fan art project. This is not real what will be in the game. But as we know, the developers are open for suggestions in Spectrum, in a game ideas subthread. We're posting all this, and maybe one day they look into it and they would say, oh, maybe we could do that. And of course, I'm sure we're going to be working on version 2.0. So please comment your suggestion and ideas in the comment section below. Thank you. So we will have a closer look on the platform details, its dimensions, modularity, and a little bit of a movement as well. When it comes to garage, you will be able to see the details, spawning points, missions, shuttle services for the miners. Refinery Deck will showcase, well, refinery and also a little bit of infrastructure and cargo management. We will discuss also a little bit of the medical gameplay and the possibilities of ground missions, medical ground missions. Of course, details of terminal and services available to all the players that would land or use mining post. Another element would be business zone. Of course, we are here to make in-game money, so this would be the location where all the trade is happening. And a final look will be on the infrastructure around the post, so access ramp, elevators, roads, and security. So this is TEMP, Temporary Excavation Mining Post. Why temporary? Well, the structure is not temporary, but the location of it is. It will have the ability to lift itself up and move around the surface of the moon. It wouldn't be player controlled, I can't imagine that, but it's definitely an expansion of how the current mining post looked. It definitely provides more services for all the miners, whether it's mining by spaceship or ground mining. But how big is it? Well, here is a small video showing the size comparison of this post with some of the bigger ships like Pioneer, Orion, or Hull E. The platform is about 800 meters long. Here is a comparison with Javelin, and another comparison with, excuse the low poly size of Bengal carrier. Again, this is not a spaceship, but it has ability to move around the planet or low gravity moons. It has one main support pillar and then 8 smaller legs that help it to balance itself, because finding a flat spot on the moons could be difficult. I could imagine this platform staying for several months or even several years in one location before it moves somewhere else. When it comes to the elements that the modules that consist, here is a short list. You can see all those elements in low poly version, of course, but the idea behind this platform is the modularity of it. So here is again a short demo how the modularity would look. So the platform would be the same size, but the components would vary. Here is a different renditions of different garages layouts, providing different services. Some could be focusing more on rock mining, some could be focusing more on the hand mining and utilizing of the ground vehicles like Ursa. All of the platforms should have a medical bay. Medical gameplay, we know, it's important in a current game version. So this is the garage, different layouts, and of course we have other elements. We have the refinery. It can be a smaller or a bigger refinery, depending on the specific focus on certain platforms on certain moons. And when it comes to the landing zone, multiple different size pads are available. It could be the large pads, focusing more on cargo missions, or it could be consist of a large number of smaller pads that would serve the needs of the miners. So here is a version that we set for. As we can see, 8 small pads, 2 large pads focusing on a cargo. We have the business zone on top of the refinery block. We use only one emergency or VIP landing pad on top that you can maybe gain access based on your mining reputation. We have a business tower, which is hotel, and then shops and services for all your miners' needs. Here is the example of the final layout for the garage that we set on, and here is how it would look fully rendered from those blocks. Vehicle bay or garage is situated underneath all the landing pads, and it serves the needs of all ground vehicle mining. So we have a space for the Ursa rovers where they can be recharged. We have a rock ramp for all the rock vehicles to drop off the minables from their missions. And then we have, of course, access to the medbay. And something I've added is a leaderboard. We know that the game collects all the details of all the players and what they do. So perhaps mining leaderboard would be a nice addition to the gameplay. Of course, from the garage you can access business and landing zone. You can access all the garages, which has the spawn location for your vehicles. You can access refinery. Well, technically you can access everything. It's a hub. It's a main point for all the ground miners to meet and to do their business. Some comments on Spectrum question the size of this vehicle bay, but it's actually much smaller if we would like to compare it to the exhibition halls during the events in, let's say, Microtech. Also, the entrance would have some force fields, the same as being used in garages, making sure that inside the vehicle bay there is a breathable atmosphere. Well, let's talk a little bit about the shuttle services. There's a small zone where shuttle services operate. Number one, it's a place when you can meet with your party before you go for your hand mining expedition using a ground vehicle such as Ursa rover, or it could be AI-driven shuttle services to nearby caves and other locations where players, perhaps without any ground vehicles, can access and start the hand mining profession. Above the shuttle services zone, there is a vehicle bay command center, possibly for some kind of mining related missions in the future. You can access those by the elevators located in the ground floor. Currently, the hand mining and the rock mining technically are the same mineral, making the hand mining completely not profitable. But perhaps it might be expanded in the future that certain very valuable gems, minerals, can be only hand mined. To increase the profitability of your mining profession, there is refining. So a small refining deck is available on the mining post. Of course, the methods of refining here, the collected ores or minerals, would be different from those available on the space stations in 0G. But perhaps there are some methods who can take advantage of the gravity of the moons and planets when it comes to refining your collected minerals. And where is mining and refining, there is also, of course, cargo. Physicalized cargo is coming hopefully soon to the game, so we're looking for all the infrastructure relating to that. Moving cargo could be a completely separate profession, but it has to be managed well. Mining post gives you ability to actually see your own cargo, but also consists of a few cargo holes, kind of a magic spawning point where the game can spawn cargo for pickup, or the cargo that's being delivered could be drop off into those closets. As pointed out on Spectrum, whether the cargo management will be AI driven or players driven, mining post can cater for both of those scenarios. I personally myself don't see myself stacking boxes all day long, but I know there are some players who are actually looking forward to this cargo gameplay. And perhaps you notice those vehicles moving around the cargo, they're using tractor beams. They look like rock vehicles, because they are in this version, but if you would like to see more, please enjoy this short 30-second demo of Grey Cat Beam, tractor beam vehicle. Safety first. Medical bay, for not only for emergencies, is located in the heart of the platform. It's accessible from the refinery deck, from the business zone, and from the garage. There is no interior for it because the details of the medical rooms and how are they designed now in a game, they way are above my capabilities, so I'll just leave you guys with the outside view. Interesting. On the temporary excavation mining post, the oxypens and the medpens are available for free for all the miners. As we said at the beginning, safety first. I'm also looking forward on the expansion of the medical gameplay and especially the missions. Mining Post also has one emergency slash VIP landing pad on top. It would be nice to see the expansion of those medical missions to the ground vehicles. There might be locations where it's not possible to fly or fly into, such as caves and other places. So perhaps some medical ground vehicles will be available in a game one day. We prepared a short demo of 3 this kind of vehicles: Ursa Rescue, Grey Cat Doc, thank you very much for the suggestion of this name, and using the Atlas chassis from most famous ballista vehicle, we made a small mobile hospital. Please enjoy the short demo. Well, this is the terminal with access to all 10 landing pads. We know that the game itself moving away from spawning vehicles on landing pads, but landing pads will be still in the game for short landing, short trips and things like that. So having access to landing pads when you can just land and drop off certain things, or land and pick some people up, or pick some cargo up, is still available gameplay. Of course, all the gates will have this kind of protection screens, same as currently we have on a space station, making sure that the inside of the terminal there is a breathable atmosphere. The elements of the terminal can be utilized to push a little bit of other gameplays and game features. For example, selling paints on your ships. So yes, we have a lots of adverts and advertisement posters on the walls, but also we have small areas when the game developer has a possibility to demo the live size, live version of certain paints. And here is an example of different rock paints. Some paints maybe in the future could be free to celebrate certain events in a game, in the universe, and some could be, of course, sold for real money. It would be nice, maybe in the future, to have a possibility of purchasing a paint with real money from inside the game, when you can see basically what you're buying in-game engine. Here is a several version of different rock paints that we had a small poll on Reddit, and the winner was the black and red classic one, but possibilities here with the paints are endless. Also in terminal there will be modularity available. Different shops and different services will be available. Here we have a space for 4 shops or services. One here is a quick food and drink place. Another one is Nova Prime Cooperation, which is a possibility of hiring NPCs, hopefully in the near future. And the 2 other is a small bar and also small rental shop when you can rent vehicles and ground vehicles or spaceships for with focus on mining. And yes, it might be looking a little bit empty here, but let's put our hopium glasses and imagine this location full of NPCs walking around their own business, contributing to the immersion. When it comes to the modularity, different terminal blocks will be able to cater for different amount of businesses. So they could be a platform focusing more on services like repair, rental, and shops with mining lasers and all the upgrades for your vehicles. Business zone with shops, services, and hospitality. Hospitality means entertainment areas such as bars and restaurants, and also a small hotel for all the players that would decide to store the vehicle here, ground vehicle only. Of course, you can't store your vehicle on the pad, so your ground vehicle would be stored in the garages, and you can log off safely here at the hotel. This zone would also offer some small services as insurance and, as we said, shops earlier, and also can cater as a showcase room, for example, for some new ships that the game developer is launching. You'll be able to preview those ships, whether in a form of a sculpture, as here, or maybe some holographics. Apart from amazing view from the top of the tower, of course, it will serve as a hub with elevators that will allow you to move you quickly around the platform. So going to whether it's a vehicle bay, terminal, refinery, or even completely to the ground surface. Here is the short preview of hotel slash apartments, basically your loading location. Yes, it looks maybe a little bit too fancy. As mentioned on Spectrum, we might be looking into some lower budget version of staying overnight around the platform, maybe something similar to just a small capsule style hotel, small hubs. Again, to clarify, we know we wouldn't be able to spawn ships on the landing pads, so here preferably it would be a hotel or spawning location for people who are really focusing and into ground vehicle gameplay, ground vehicle mining, ground vehicle emergency missions, etc. Yeah. Yes. Again, as a comment pointed out on the Spectrum, or actually, no, it was Reddit. It looks way too fancy for the mining platform. It should be something more industrial look and feel. But that was just a quick. So again, let's imagine that there would be a completely different version of the hubs here. Maybe something similar that we have in Lorville. Kind of industrial look and feel. Yes, and also it was pointed out that these apartments have no bathroom. So we just added some doors on the side here, as you can see. So let's say the bathroom is there. Infrastructure and logistics. We know that not only players will be in a game, and the ratio between players and NPC will be fairly high. 9-1 is a number quoted in a specification. So we opted in here for a ramp rather than elevator when it comes to accessing the vehicle bay. Ramp gives you ability for much smoother traffic transition. More vehicles can use ramp at the same time, and the smoothness of the traffic it was the key variable here that we were looking for. However, as pointed out, when it comes to carrying cargo up and down, the elevators are much more efficient. So on the side of the platform has been added a mobile elevator that the cargo could be dropped off there and taken directly to the refinery deck. This ground access point, as we see here, we refer it to as a ground base, could also serve as a security post, making sure there is not any kind of contraband smuggled in or out of the platform itself. We know that the developers are working on rivers and roads, so hopefully some ground vehicle cargo missions will be possible in the near future as well. If you look closely, you'll be able to spot some another version of the vehicles we kind of suggested, ground cargo vehicles. Those visible here are based on the Atlas chassis, same as Ballista, and they have ability to pull some trailers. Again, there was a conversation about that on Spectrum, whether pulling trailers with cargo will be possible in a future gameplay, and at this point of time there is no information about it, but again, that is a suggestion that comes from us. Here is a closer look on the side elevator. Sorry for no animation here. There has been animation in another episode of this previously when we were featuring this, so if you're interested in seeing more details, please have a look on that episode. Also, please have a look on this short demo of ground cargo hauling. Here we can see the vehicle and the trailers. The shipping containers here are a little bit off size, but with the new shipping size containers, this vehicle will be able to pull about 256 SCU per trailer. And final element of the infrastructure, security. This was pointed out everywhere, in the YouTube comments, on Spectrum and on Reddit, saying, oh, how are we gonna secure this place? So, of course, some land-based security posts protecting it are important, but also this gives opportunity for some security missions when you would be employed to provide security for the mining post and its staff. So that is it. If you managed to watch all, 29 minutes of this videos, thank you very much for your watch time. Thank you very much for your support. And of course, please join us on Spectrum Conversation, Reddit, or comment down below your suggestion, your ideas that you would like to see us implemented in this project.